Good afternoon, everyone. So thank you for taking the time out of your day to join us to learn more about the Master of Legal Studies program here at UCLA School of Law. So I'm Mary Plizikowski. I'm the Assistant Director of Graduate Studies. I'm joined by the Executive Director of the program, Jason Fiske, and some of our incredible students today. So today's session is specific to the Employment and Human Resources specialization, which is quite popular, and UCLA School of Law is extremely strong in employment law. So we did want to make one session that really focused on human resource professionals and what this type of degree from this school can do for you. So shortly, I will turn it over to Jason. He will introduce our current and incredible students in the program. You'll be able to hear about their experience of the program, how it's helped them in their workplace. And at the end, there will be an opportunity to ask questions in the Q&A. You can ask questions about the program, and you can also ask questions to the panel members. So without further ado, I will now turn it over to you, Jason. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And as Mary was talking about, the program really has 8 specializations to choose from. A very popular specialization is this one, the Employment and Human Resources one. But just FYI, if you are in HR, some people like to have the flexibility to take classes in other areas, and that's totally fine. You can specialize in employment and human resources, of course, but you could do general studies, say, and do all sorts of different classes. So that option is up to you. But today is a focus on the employment and human resources specialization. And a lot of our students who are in our program who work in the human resources, talent management type field generally. 5 of them are here today, but there's, of course, many more than that who just weren't able to come to this particular panel. But we're going to start off by going one by one through each one so they can introduce themselves and say what their roles are, and also what their experience has been like so far, and how they've and how applicable what they've learned has been to what they're doing. And so that's kind of what we'll start off with. So without further ado, I'll kick it right on over to Christina. Christina, would you mind introducing yourself?
Hi, I am Christina Ziegler. I am head of global people operations for a financial tech company called Tala that is based in Santa Monica. However, we have offices in India, Kenya, the Philippines, and Mexico. With regards to the program, what attracted me to the program is throughout my career, I've had a lot of interaction with legal counsel, both in-house and outside counsel, and found the legal aspect of my job very fascinating. So while I was looking for an advanced education, I did not necessarily want to become an attorney, but this was an area that I was interested in. So this program very much address that for me. And what I have found from the program is that, working with the legal professors and then being in classes with other law students has prepared me much more as far as anticipating what my legal partners may be looking for on the business side. So, and then also being able to do more detailed research in my job than I was able to do previously.
So my name is Catherine Vasquez. I'm the Director of Human Resources at the School of Ed and IS here at UCLA. Very similar to what Christina said, is I was looking to pursue some type of higher education, and this was an opportunity for me to continuously engage at the campus level at UCLA specifically. My role is much more of a generalist type position, which means I'm involved in a lot of different types of things, from employee and labor relations to disability management and accommodations, things like that. And so this program really gave me the opportunity to explore, different topics and get really into the legal aspects of those topics and how I can now bring them back to my department and apply them and be better partners with the folks that I work with here at UCLA, either in our insurance and risk management office or employee relations team. And so that's been a really amazing opportunity. And I also think that, we've been exposed to some great faculty so far to help us through our path. So that has been a great resource as well.
Hi, everyone. I'm Megan Perrin. I work at STX Entertainment, which is a film, TV, and non-scripted studio. Very similar to Christina and Catherine, I entered this program just wanting to learn more about the law, since I interact with inside and outside counsel. And along the way, met some really great people. That was a benefit I didn't necessarily think, I didn't anticipate in terms of meeting all my peers and really learning about them, and we've helped each other. Like Catherine said, amazing faculty who's been able to provide advice to us, and I've had an amazing time in the program so far and excited to talk to you all about it.
Hello, everyone. My name is Raymond Mercado. I'm a Human Resources Manager for Life Steps Foundation, the nonprofit that assists individuals with disabilities, or a statewide agency. So what really drew me to the UCLA program was most specifically being a statewide agency, being exposed to regulations and statutes, and being in a nonprofit, I wear multiple hats, everything from internal investigations to workers' comp. And so sometimes it can be overwhelming. So what I enjoyed about the program is meeting with peers like Megan, Jay, Christina, and the ability to kind of brainstorm and have that opportunity to think outside of the box. And there's incredible people in the program that really do contribute just an overall wealth of knowledge, everything from professors and the faculty, and how they're always ready to assist and help you. So it is really coming back to thinking like a lawyer, but not a lawyer, and all of the research and tools that you're given. So being in HR, it's always nice to have those in your back pocket.
Yeah, hi everyone, I'm Jay Appelman. I can really echo what everyone has said because it speaks so true. I'm a senior HR manager at a nonprofit called the LA Clean Tech Incubator, or LACY. So we are trying to create an inclusive green economy by incubating clean tech startups, working with the city on transportation and energy initiatives, and also have a workforce development job training program for the future green economy. So I joined LACY about 4.5 years ago as a department of one, building up their HR function, and I'm still a department of one today. So joining this program, I think, has kind of helped build up the legalese and legal acumen that not just for me, but also ad hoc helping our startups and the work we do. And I think for a lot of people that multi-year or for some of us like 15-year conversation you have with yourself of law school or not, and this is kind of a good medium because for those entrenched in HR and employment law.
So as represented on this panel, as you can see, we have a lot of very experienced and HR professionals who are currently in the market. But in our program also are a few students who are more recently undergraduate looking to break into the HR market. So we do have that, and they just weren't able to come today. So just so you know, but naturally we do have lots of very seasoned HR professionals. So the next question that I pose to everybody, and this is just for anyone can jump in and answer this one, is what kind of opportunities do you see because of your participation in the Master of Legal Studies program? So that might be the people you're meeting or career related. So just if anyone wants to jump in and answer that about kind of the opportunities presented.
So Jason, I think you nailed it as far as I wasn't expecting, and Megan spoke to this too. Meeting the other students and getting to talk about experiences that are current that everybody is trying to address has also been something that was very helpful for me, and something that I didn't anticipate, as Megan said. But being able to reach out to this new network to ask questions about, hey, this is what's going on for me, or you guys experience the same thing, and kind of touch base on best practices that are out there, or get ideas. So that has been amazing.
So the next question I'll ask is about the actual classes that you're taking. So, and I'll go around and kind of ask everyone, and the question will be, what's your favorite class been? So maybe list a few of the relevant classes that you've taken that have been relevant to you in employment resources, and maybe just pick one or two of your favorites that you found that has really stood out. Now, a couple of our students are in their second semester right now in the part-time program, but 3 are in their second year of the part-time program. So Christina, we'll start with you.
That's a great question, because I think every semester that has changed. And so right now, for instance, the employment law class is really fascinating, where I thought it would be like, oh, it's things I've already, having worked in HR for a couple of decades now. But it's been a very lively class, which has been great. But I think also the initial classes that we had were really were really great. So touching on administrative law and the business law class was also really awesome in terms of getting into all different areas of business. So yeah, I've enjoyed really all of my classes, but it just seems like every semester it's gotten better.
I think in terms of courses I've taken for my specialization, I took disability law last semester, which was really great. I really enjoyed that. And I took employment discrimination for J term, not this last J term, but the one last year. And both of those were really great experiences, and being able to see that see those topics through a very legal lens were really interesting and very engaging.
Great. And just so everyone knows, the law school is on semesters. UCLA is on quarters, but the law school is on semesters, a fall and a spring semester. And what we do have what we call a J term, which is January. And it's a condensed course, totally optional, that you can take at the beginning of January, that is basically condensing a class into a 2 or 3 week time period. So, again, totally optional, but some students like to take advantage of that. Megan.
I truly haven't had a class that I haven't enjoyed. I've enjoyed all of them, the core classes, the electives, and I've been able to glean certain things out of each class that I've used in my day-to-day. Even classes I didn't necessarily think that would be the case. I loved public law that I had last semester, private law. Like I said, both classes I was able to put into practice things that I learned there. I also took a J-term class, negotiation, with Professor Karopkin. That was amazing. That was super applicable to my day-to-day in terms of negotiating with candidates, vendors. Like Christina said, employment law has been great. We deal with it every day, but there we have learned things that we haven't before. So really every class has been exceptional.
Yeah, just to kind of echo what everyone says, the classes are extremely fascinating. Just the legal lenses that you learn on how to apply everything from public law, how the Constitution applies, and reading that into it. I didn't think there was much to it, but there's so much to it that ties to agencies, regulations, statutes, and so very, very relevant. And that was with Professor Rich, amazing. And I'm currently right now in American Dispute Resolution, which basically is civil procedures, but it's so amazing how you go through the different various ways of litigation, and what gets to litigation and what doesn't get to litigation is very, very applicable to, how do you set up and anticipate litigation. And so I think overall, this is my second semester. There are some definite themes that go from start to finish that come up in each of the classes, and then there's cases that are speak to you, especially when you're in employment law. You're like, that's what they're talking about. It starts to click, and so it's really cool to see. And then also with other HR professionals, how it's like a light bulb goes off and it ties everything together.
Yeah, I'm in my second semester, so I'm really looking forward to some of those classes that Christine and Catherine have mentioned. But I will say that now I'm in my second semester, the pairing of public law and private law together, I didn't realize how beneficial that was, because now that we're in writing an analysis or business law, some of those cases come up again, and then you quickly remember, oh yeah, that case was about this, or that case was about that, and the language just comes a lot easier to you in terms of the process. So I think it was very, without realizing it, very subtle how you kind of got more involved in the law through those classes.
So the next thing I'll be talking about is this degree kind of in comparison to other degrees. So 40% of our incoming class already has a graduate degree of some sort, but people have choices. So you all chose this Master of Legal Studies program here at UCLA. Talk to me about that. Why did you choose a Master of Legal Studies degree instead of, say, a Master's in Human Resources or an MBA or something that's a different degree? So I'll just open this up to anyone who wants to jump in and respond to that.
For myself, a lot of other HR professionals at at a similar time frame, were pursuing MBAs. My real interest, though, was digging in more into the legal aspect of my job. I've really enjoyed the situations where I've partnered with attorneys on situations, both, from what Catherine mentioned, whether you're dealing with an employee situation around disability or wrongful termination or just those or compliance things, but then also from the contract aspect, because oftentimes in my job I may be working on contracts. So one of the classes that I did mention, I did do a contract design course over this recent J term and learned so much, and I looked at contracts very differently now having gone through that class.
And I'll say too, so I have an MBA from a state university in New York from 10 or 12 years ago. And then that was kind of before I entered the HR profession. And I think having this degree paired with that, but also the years of experience now in HR and actually applying everything, I'm not gonna say makes this one more meaningful, but complements it very well to what I've already been working on.
So let's go now and talk a little bit about the community for the Master of Legal Studies program. So we have this employment human resources specialization loaded up with human resources individuals from various sectors, as we see even here, private sector, we have government, we have from school, UCLA, a school like Catherine, and nonprofit sector. But there's also 7 other specializations that have people from all sorts of different specializations that you kind of sit next to in your various classes. Talk to me about the community with the Master of Legal Studies. So whether that be not just in the classes, but also the events that can be participated in and that you like to take advantage of.
I'll start. With that, there's a lot of energy around this program. I've had the opportunity to attend, gatherings throughout the school year, and everyone is just passionate about what it is they do and what they bring to the table. And I think that's what makes this program so amazing, is to hear other backgrounds. Like, we're all in HR, and so we very much, and it's really funny because sometimes we'll be in class and people are like, for all those HR folks, but it's really helpful because it helps us think about the other side and other arguments that are being brought to the table. We have people who deal with patents and copyright, and so they're bringing from the entertainment side what they're doing in their negotiations. And so you kind of have like that moment to say, okay, well, I see that perspective. And some are in environmental, they are specializing in environmental, and it's really just brings the experience so much more well-rounded, I think. So yes, it is like a concentration in HR, and you're going to get that, but you're going to be exposed to so much more, and you're going to really meet some amazing people. And the professors do an amazing job at tying it all together in class. So, it doesn't seem like one is, sticking out or favoriting employment law, that's environmental, it's, tort law. So it really does just make a world of a difference.
And I'll echo what Raymond said, is that I feel the cohorts are just amazingly supportive. So many of my cohort members and I have just found relationships of being able to help and support each other, both in class and outside of class, especially when you work on your capstone. Everyone's like, oh, here's a resource that you can use. Here's something you should look into. Have you thought about that? And we're all in different subject matters and focusing on very different things. And everyone's just been great. Like, I can't say that there's anyone that I haven't met from the M.L.S. program who hasn't been willing to like help or step in or be like, hey, let's like, I'll see if I know anybody to help you. So that's been really amazing.
So then as the final question to the panel, before we open it up to our attendees to ask any questions that you all want to ask about to the panelists or about the program, as the final question, what a lot of people are a holdup for a lot of people for doing a graduate degree who are work professionals is time. And saying like, how can I possibly fit this into my schedule? I'm busy. So I'll just we'll go around each person just to say, what do you do? You're all, accomplished individuals who have schedules. So how have you fitted into your schedule? So starting with Christina.
Yeah, I appreciate the flexibility of the program and the fact that the courses were, I work full time. I'm a single mom, and the flexibility of choosing how quickly I wanted to go through the program. The number of classes I felt that I was able to take was definitely a huge consideration in choosing this program. So yeah, it's the flexibility has been amazing. And there have been times where I thought, like, okay, maybe I could do a little bit more, or does that make sense? Or so yeah, I really love the flexibility of the program.
Yeah, so very similarly to Christina, I think one of the big draws is that the classes are offered in the evenings, you know, for the M.L.S students. And because I am going part-time, I have the ability to go and take courses over, you know, several years if I need it to be. And one of the things that has happened this semester and last semester is that some of the classes are blocked in a single day. So like employment law, for example, is all Monday night, which means that I get my class done Monday night and I have the rest of the week to prepare for anything else, do the readings I have the weekend before. So that's been really helpful to kind of have that block of time where I know this is when I'm in class and the rest of the time I can figure it out.
Yeah, this program is really set up to be flexible, similar to what Christina and Catherine said. The classes themselves are flexible, but the professors are flexible as well. They understand we have jobs, lives outside of the program. You know, they're usually amenable to pushing deadlines if we need it, if we have a good enough reason with regards to our jobs. And then, like Catherine said, the classes are in the evenings, especially with regards to our core classes. So that's been super helpful as well. And listen, it's hard work. You have to keep a schedule. You have to make sure that you're scheduling your readings and doing your work, especially on the weekends or whenever you can. But it's definitely doable.
Yeah, having a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old, time is of the essence for me, and being at work and school and dad, it's a lot, but it's manageable. And kind of echo what Megan's saying, it is challenging. I'm not going to sit here and say like it isn't, but it's doable, and the professors are willing to work with you, and you just have to make your own schedule and really block out time to say, okay, Sundays, I'm just going to do all my readings for the week, and then you're done. And then right before class, just brush up on like what cases you just read. But if you do that, you're going to be fine. I think it really is a flexible program, and it allows you to kind of work at your speed. If you want to take one class, I'm taking 2, and it's been very manageable. So yeah, it can be done.
Yeah, I really can't say it any better than what everyone has said. Everyone's going to have their own time negotiation of how they get it done. I'm also been taking 2 classes each semester, and yeah, whether you're reading on weekends or nights after you're done working, my work's also very supportive, and my supervisor and I have an understanding, and he's very supportive. Like, take time off if you need, or do you have to. I haven't had to use that yet, but it's good to know I have it in my back pocket.
Fantastic. So we're going to go ahead and now turn it over to the attendees who have come to this live session to answer any questions that you all might have. And while go ahead and look at the Q&A box at the bottom to go ahead and put in any questions that you'd like for us to respond to. But while you're doing that, I just want to thank you all the panelists for coming today. I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to share your experience with people who are considering joining our community. First question is, are all the classes in person? So for the incoming class in August 2022, which is this upcoming start, how it'll work for a part-time student is you would be coming to campus Tuesday, Thursday nights, 6:30 to 9:30 if you elect to do 2 classes. And so that would essentially be your first year of the program if you did it on a 2-year basis. The second year of the program, you'd have the choice of numerous electives, as some of the panelists were talking about, that they range in time. You get to choose at that point. So there's evening options. There's a couple online options in the evenings. And then there's also classes ranging morning, afternoon, just depending on what you want to do at that point for the electives. You are able to complete the degree in anywhere up to 4 years if you're doing it part-time. Full-time students can complete it in 2 semesters. And so you start in August, you graduate in May, doing it in the fall and the spring. And the part-time students, most of them do it in 2 years, but some certainly will take more and do 3 or 4, just depending on what pace that they all want to go. Question is, if we are UCLA health employee, do we qualify for the scholarship? for 13,000. So the answer is yes. So that would be considered UCLA employee, and so you get the $14,000 scholarship for that. Great. So one of the question is I'm interested in immigration law. Do the classes touch on immigration? So there's 8 specializations to choose from. And so students can elect one of the 8 specializations. And specifically to immigration, immigration is covered under the public interest specialization. But there is, and there's lots of classes on immigration, but you are able to either, as I mentioned, do general studies, in which case you can pick and choose also a variety of topics, or you can even self-design your own specialization, which a couple of our students have done. And so if there's immigration, for example, let's say that there's, you only want to do immigration, there's loads of classes in that you're interested in. You can, after being accepted, you can propose a specialization based on an array of classes that you see. And if it's unique from one of the 8 specializations, it's likely to be accepted. We have a couple of students currently doing that. And so that's an opportunity you have also. Question is, what's the difference between the priority, early, and general applications? The answer is just the timing. So the priority round was the first round that ended in December. The early round just happened, just passed us in February. We're now in the general round for applications. So we're currently enrolling admissions all the way between now and April 25th, which is the application deadline. And so it is advantageous to submit it at any point. For one, because we're already starting to do networking events for our admitted students. And so the earlier you get accepted, then the earlier you can take advantage of the opportunities of the connections of the program. And so that's what we're currently in, is that rolling admissions.
I just wanted to add, in terms of the immigration law question, if you're just looking for a class that touches on it, public law, which is one of the core classes, does touch on immigration. Then we have a few days where we go over some cases with regards to that. All
right. Well, very good. Well, again, thank you so much, panelists, for taking the time today. Really appreciate you. And also thank you for the attendees for coming and the questions that you asked. And we hope to see you applying in the program this August to join our fellow HR professionals here. So hope you have a great rest of your day. And thanks again.